Maurice Tillet was a French wrestler from the early 20th century who, due to a rare medical condition, developed a very unusual appearance. In spite of the social stigma this caused him, Tillet became a highly successful wrestler, gaining fame and fortune throughout Europe and North America. It was Tillet's unique appearance combined with his impressive athletic abilities that inspired the creation of the beloved animated character Shrek. Tillet was born in France in 1903 to parents who were both Russian immigrants. His mother was a teacher and his father was a railroad engineer. Tillet's father died when he was young. As a child, he had a completely normal appearance and was even given the nickname The Angel by his mother due to his innocent face. In 1917, Tillet and his mother left Russia due to the revolution and moved to France, where they settled in the Reims. As he grew older, however, he began to develop a condition known as acromegaly, a condition caused by a benign tumor in the pituitary gland at the age of 20, which is caused by excess growth hormone in the body. This condition caused Tillet's bones to continue growing and thickening even after he had reached adulthood, resulting in a very distinctive appearance. His face became wide and distorted, with an enlarged jaw and brow ridge, and his hands grew to be incredibly large and misshapen. Tillet completed his law degree at the University of Toulouse, but felt he would never be successful due to his deep voice and physical appearance. Tillet served in the submarine service of the French Navy for 5 years as an engineer. There is no verified information on exactly how Tillet came to leave the Navy to become a professional wrestler, but rather a few different stories exist regarding this decision. In all stories, there is one common denominator. Tillet met Cal Pogello, a professional wrestler, in 1937. From an early age, Tillet showed a remarkable talent for athletics, especially wrestling. In February 1937, Tillet met Cal Pogello in Singapore. Pogello was a professional wrestler and persuaded Tillet to enter the business. Tillet and Pogello moved to Paris for training, and Tillet wrestled for 2 years in France and England until World War II forced them to leave for the United States in 1939. Tillet arrived in New York City in the early 1930s and quickly made a name for himself in the world of professional wrestling. In Boston, Massachusetts in 1940, promoter Paul Bowser pushed Tillet, who was wrestling as the French Angel, as a main eventer, and he became a large draw in the area. As a result of his popularity, Tillet was booked as unstoppable and was unbeaten for a span of 19 consecutive months. Tillet was the AWA heavyweight champion from May 1940 until May 1942. He reappeared with the Boston-based title for a short time in 1944. As a result of his success, several imitators emerged, including Paul Olafsen, the Swedish Angel, who also had acromegaly, Tony Angelo, the Russian Angel, Tor Johnson, the Super Swedish Angel, Jack Rush, the Canadian Angel, Clive Welsh, the Irish Angel, and lots more. Tillet competed against Tor Johnson, who was billed as the Swedish Angel on those occasions. Tillet's unusual appearance was a major asset in the world of professional wrestling. He was billed as the French Angel, and his opponents would often use his appearance to help promote their own fights against him. Tillet quickly gained a reputation as one of the toughest wrestlers around. He was known for his incredible strength and agility, as well as his fearsome wrestling techniques. Throughout the 1930s and 1940s, Tillet continued to wrestle in both North America and Europe, becoming one of the most famous wrestlers of his time. His fame even led to some acting work, including a small role in the classic 1943 film The Song of Bernadette. Despite his success, however, Tillet never fully escaped the social stigma attached to his appearance. By 1945, Tillet's health began to fail, and he was no longer advertised as unstoppable. In his final wrestling match in Singapore on 14 February 1953, working with the National Wrestling Alliance, he agreed to lose to Bert Asirati. In 1950, Chicago sculptor Louis Link befriended Tillet and made a series of plaster busts commemorating him for his wrestling career. One of these busts is in Chicago International Museum of Surgical Science. Another is now in the personal collection of Bruce Pritchard. Tillet died on 4th September 1954 in Chicago, Illinois. He suffered from a heart attack after hearing of his friend and former trainer Cal Pogello's death. Tillet and Pogello are buried together at the Luthanian National Cemetery in Justice, Illinois, Cook County, 20 miles south of Chicago. Their gravestones reads, "Friends who even death couldn't part." Even after Tillet's death in 1954, his legacy continued to be appreciated. In the years since his passing, Tillet's unique appearance has become a symbol of strength and perseverance, inspiring a generation of people around the world. And it was this legacy that would eventually inspire the creation of the character Shrek. In the 1990s, the children's book author William Steig began working on a new story about a large, grumpy ogre who just wanted to be left alone. Steig had long been fascinated with the idea of using a traditionally monstrous character as a protagonist in a children's book, and he had recently come across a photograph of Maurice Tillet that he felt could serve as a visual inspiration for his new character. Steig's book, Shrek, was published in 1990 and was an immediate success. The story of the lovable ogre who learns to accept himself and find love despite his fearsome appearance resonated with readers of all ages. In the years that followed, the Shrek franchise would become one of the most successful in the history of animation, spawning countless sequels, spin-off, and merchandise. The connection between Maurice Tillet and the character of Shrek is not immediately obvious at first glance. After all, Shrek is a cartoon character with exaggerated features that are quite different from Tillet's own unique appearance. However, there are several key similarities between the two beyond just their physical appearance. First and foremost, both Tillet and Shrek were outsiders considered by society to be unattractive and even grotesque. In spite of this, both men possessed incredible physical strength and a fierce determination to succeed. Tillet's success in the world of professional wrestling and Shrek's eventual triumph over the evil Lord Farquaad and the other fairy tale creatures who tormented him both demonstrate the power of perseverance in the face of adversity. Another important similarity between Tillet and Shrek is the ability to find happiness and love despite their physical appearance. Tillet, despite the ridicule he faced, was married twice and had several relationships throughout his life. Similarly, Shrek is able to find love and acceptance with the Princess Fiona in spite of his fearsome appearance and gruff demeanor. Overall, while Maurice Tillet may not be a household name today, his legacy lives on in the beloved character of Shrek. By overcoming adversity and finding joy and love despite his appearance, Tillet serves as an inspiration to us all, and although Tillet himself may not have lived to see the vast impact that his life has had on popular culture, it is clear that his lasting legacy will continue to inspire future generations for years to come.